Hello, drama lovers, welcome back to my channel today. Just then, Holden walks in. Sharon greets him and says they were just talking about them. She and Stephanie bond over missing your children when they're far away. Stephanie and Holden head to the patio and Chelsea walks in, perturbed. She has a bad feeling about Vegas. Sharon, Stephanie, Holden, Y&R on the patio. Holden confirms that he got tested. Stephanie's keen to get the results and start treatment. She apologizes for not telling him about Malcolm years ago. Holden asks where he went. She says he's telling Lily. Holden sighs. Won't she be surprised? Stephanie, Holden, Y&R inside. Chelsea tells Sharon that she had a vision last night that Adam had transformed into Spider and had cold, hard eyes. She's scared to death. Sharon admits she had a similar experience with Adam once when she found him in Vegas years ago. Chelsea panics, but Sharon reminds her that Nick is there with him. Undeterred, Chelsea's convinced Adam is in danger. At the club, Lily gawps. Holden is my brother? Malcolm explains that Stephanie left town pregnant and never told him. Lily can't believe she'd keep this from him. Malcolm asks her what she thinks of Holden. Is he a good man? Malcolm, Y&R, Lily doesn't know Holden well, but he was a trusted friend of a friend. They discuss his illness and how difficult it must have been for Stephanie to come clean. Malcolm hopes Holden's a match. Lily says they can go to the twins, if not. She promises he'll beat this. After going over how Malcolm supported Lily when she had cancer, Mal pulls out his phone and learns they've scheduled his first round of treatment in New York preemptively. He takes a call from Stephanie, who says Holden wants to see him and Lily. Let the games begin in Vegas. Riza comes to Adam's suite and hands over his cut from the poker game. Adam hands it back to her as a show of good faith and asks about meeting her other partner. Riza shrugs. How's today? Nick listens as Adam says that would work fine. Adam, Riza, Y&R. Adam grills Riza about her partner, but she's not forthcoming. She wraps her arms around his arms and talks seductively about celebrating later tonight. Adam croons. I'll look forward to it. She kisses him and leaves. Nick pops out and asks how far his brother is willing to go with this woman. Adam insists he's just playing a role until they get to Matt. Nick questions if they'll end up in bed. Perhaps Riza's playing him. Adam can't risk pushing her away. Nick fears he's turning into Spider. Adam reassures his brother and reports that he's meeting Riza's partner today. If it's Matt Clark, they can wrap this up. Nick, Y&R. Riza returns to her suite and finds Matt there. She doesn't recall giving him a key. He wants to meet her star poker player. She says he's ready anytime. Matt barks. Great. Let the games begin. Matt, Riza, Y&R. Riza calls Adam to arrange the meeting, leaving Adam and Nick to go over their game plan. Adam will go in first, and Nick will follow quickly. Back in Riza's suite, Matt grills her about why Spider gave up poker and why he's back. Why now? In the other suite, Adam ignores a call from Chelsea, causing Nick to rant about Adam falling back into Spider's world. They bicker as Nick tries to convince Adam to have Riza bring Matt to them. Adam argues against it and heads for the door, but Nick stops him from leaving. Adam, Nick, Y&R in Riza's suite. Matt accuses her of being into Spider. She denies it and he warns her not to lie to him. Riza needles him about acting jealous, and they kiss. Back in Adam and Nick's suite, Nick's in the bathroom getting high on coke. Seems like a capital idea ahead of a big plan about to unfold. Nick mirror Y&R the results back at Crimson Lights. Holden recaps that when he woke up this morning, he had no idea about any of this. She wants him to accept that Malcolm's his father. Holden needs time to process. Stephanie insists he's one of the finest men she knows. Just then, Malcolm and Lily arrive. Lily, Malcolm, Stephanie, Holden, Y&R, Holden, and Stephanie stand to greet them. Lily and Holden acknowledge the shocking news, and Malcolm thanks his son for getting tested. Just then, Holden gets a text that the results are in. He's not a match. Lily declares they'll need to get a hold of Maddie and Charlie. As Stephanie learns these are Mal's grandkids, he assures Lily he can go to the twins on his own. They embrace. Lily, Malcolm, Stephanie, Holden, Y&R, the final scenes in Vegas. Nick emerges from the bathroom full of beans. He's bound and determined to go to Riza's room and grab Matt Clark. Adam reminds him that Matt is dangerous. Nick refuses to stick to the original plan. and declares that it was always going to end with him versus Matt. Twitchy. Nick insists he'll take it from here. Adam agrees. If Nick calls him when he gets there and leaves his phone on, he'll wait for his signal. They take off. Adam, Nick, YNR in Reese's room. She pulls away from Matt's kiss. Spider will be there soon. Matt wants her to leave, as she's a distraction. She hesitates, but then goes. Matt frowns thoughtfully. Back in Genoa City, Chelsea can't reach Adam or Nick. She asks if Sharon believes her now that something isn't right. In Vegas, Adam stands in a hallway looking at his missed calls from Chelsea on the coffeehouse patio. Lily makes arrangements for Malcolm to use the Winter's jet, and Holden asks Malcolm to keep him posted as to how it goes with Maddie and Charlie. Mal will do that. Stephanie assures her ex that she'll move heaven and earth to save his life. Holden, Malcolm, YNR, Lily tells Malcolm the jet is ready. She'll go with him to the tarmac, and they can call the twins en route. Malcolm says goodbye to Stephanie and claps Holden on the arm. Inside, Sharon tries to talk Chelsea down, but she declares that she's done. She's going to Vegas. Outside Reese's door, Nick calls Adam to alert him as promised, and then enters the door and steps inside. As Adam listens through the phone, Nick calls out, "Is anybody here?" Suddenly, the door closes behind him, and a black bag comes down over his head, plunging his world into darkness. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease that Kane Ashby is completely out of money due to Victor Newman and Phyllis Summers. Now, with Kane angry at everything, he's prepared to abandon his good nature and restore his empire through theft once more. Kane wants revenge for the destruction of his fortune. He seeks revenge on those who destroyed his billion-dollar fortune. He intends to get wicked revenge on both Victor and Phyllis. This week, Kane is shocked to learn that he is essentially broke. His accountant informs him that Arabesque's assets have vanished, and he has no idea where the money went. Kane then dismisses his accountant for refusing to engage in unethical practices. However, there are some assets that have not been mentioned, remember. Kane purchased the GCAC and several other properties in Genoa City, which were not included in the AI theft discussion. Additionally, he still owns all his Kane trains and that French chateau. Perhaps Kane's train is in the Arabesque assets. Perhaps the YNR writers overlooked this. Or maybe it's meant to be part of the Arabesque assets. We'll find out if Kane will continue to enjoy his train, or if it will be taken away. We know Victor is on Kane's revenge list due to everything he has taken from him, including the kidnapping plot involving Lily Winters. Phyllis is the one who orchestrated Kane's downfall by stealing the AI and giving it to Victor. Now, Kane has decided to take what belongs to others and claim it as his own. However, he will need a new accountant. Kane made it clear he wants nothing more to do with Lily after his argument with Devin Hamilton and Nate Hastings this week. Kane made it clear he wants nothing to do with Lily. Phyllis approached him to ask if he is really finished with her. Kane is completely done with Lily, and Phyllis remarked that it took him long enough. She followed him to the bar, expressing how hard it was to watch him lower himself for Lily, then boasted about the success of Summer's conglomerate. Kane, uninterested in talking to her, made her wonder if he is still in Genoa City for revenge indeed. Kane is definitely seeking revenge on Victor. Not only will Kane want revenge on Victor, but on Phyllis too, however. He also plans to mess with Phyllis and get back at her too. Kane's plan to punish both Phyllis and Victor by taking everything from them will help him achieve his goals, and it could be quite entertaining to see. We might witness Kane finding a way to reclaim what Phyllis took from Victor, the entire Newman Enterprises empire that she stole and is now proudly managing. That would surely be a punishment for Phyllis and would drive her completely crazy. Let's focus on her for a moment before we switch to Victor. Ultimately, Phyllis deserves to be punished for stealing the AI and giving it to Victor, which he used to defeat Arabesque, even though Phyllis believes Victor wouldn't have used it that way. Phyllis chloroformed Kane when she took all the Newman assets. Additionally, when they retrieved the items, Phyllis used chloroform on Kane long enough to take all of the Newman assets. Therefore, Kane didn't possess them. Victor didn't possess them. She did, and it's Phyllis's responsibility that Victor ruined Arabesque. And there are more issues arising. This could mean Kane is losing even more to Victor. Moreover, Lily had been warming up to him, but she turned against Kane when she discovered he was involved with Phyllis. Not long ago, Kane wanted to harm Phyllis, and probably still has that desire. Phyllis might try to win Kane back now that she realizes Kane is truly finished with Lily. I think Phyllis might attempt to win him back, and she'll likely keep trying to seduce him. So, while Phyllis may be trying to lure him back into her bed, it's probable that she also tempts him with a chance to get revenge on Victor. And, Kane might agree to this so he can get close enough to do something bad to both of them. Phyllis may not achieve her goal of having Kane in her bed. He could just lead her on, making her feel excited while he secretly betrays her. Does Amanda Sinclair have a backup of the AI? Amanda Sinclair may have a copy of the AI, which Kane could be keeping as a secret, even though Victor and Phyllis believe it's truly lost. Even if Amanda deleted it as he claimed, Kane had someone create it initially. So if Amanda doesn't possess it, that person might have a copy or could recreate it. When he was Dumas, Kane was always ahead of the game. He consistently had a backup plan. He even had a backup for his backup plan. It's hard to accept that he would just abandon something so valuable. He must have some kind of last resort he hoped to avoid using. Kane might just leave Newman Media with Billy, and Sally Kane might depart from Newman Media with Sally Spectra and Billy Abbott, because he considers Billy a sort of brother and doesn't want to hurt him. Therefore, all Phyllis has left is the main company, Newman Enterprises, which she renamed Summer's Conglomerate. We could witness Kane unexpectedly take that from her, revealing that he was just playing her and never intended to get involved with her. He might tell Phyllis that she's toxic and no one will ever love her. Not him, not her children, nobody that would devastate Phyllis. Kane's brutal revenge on Victor now. Let's discuss revenge on Victor. The issue is that if Kane retains Newman Enterprises, Victor will continue to pursue him. We can easily picture Kane doing something quite bold and clever. First, he might reclaim Chancellor from Victor and keep it for himself since it hasn't been under the Newman umbrella for a long time. Then, Kane and Billy could manage it together, which would please Jill Abbott and make Billy happy. Since Victor wouldn't allow Nikki Newman to have it back after she showed kindness to Jack Abbott, that would be some serious karma. Kane could seriously undermine Victor. Kane could really undermine Victor if he makes a smart move with Newman. Picture this. Kane gives it to Nikki, but with the condition that Victor can't work there. He can't own voting shares or even enter the building. Kane could arrange a deal where Nikki could pass it down to her children or grandchildren, but never to Victor. He would be excluded from Newman Enterprises forever. Everything Victor does, he claims, is to protect the family. But if Nikki regains the company and all the kids and grandkids can work there, everyone except Victor, then he loses any justification for his bad actions. Victor said he wanted to restore the family legacy to the Newmans. He expressed a desire to restore the family legacy to the Newman family. And Kane could facilitate that, however, it would be under Nikki Newman's control, not Victor Newman's. The children might all unite and declare, "No, the conflict ends here. We've reclaimed the company. Dad, it's time for you to retire." Victor would be furious, and he'd probably go into a furious bluster. Yet, if his family stands united against him after regaining control of Newman, he may have no choice but to swallow his pride and take up golf. This seems like a fitting and somewhat wicked form of revenge on both Victor and Phyllis. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Y&R right now. Come back here often for the Young and the Restless spoilers, news, and updates.